Hey guys, DJ from PTA. Gotta go over this trade on REV. Sorry for the late post because been pretty swamped, been pretty busy. Didn't place any trades today on the 23rd of June, but I will go over the trade on the 22nd of REV. Really crazy, wacky day. But we're gonna go over the levels. Now, like I always tell you guys, I always draw my levels prior to the actual trade. So when I go in, I look at my levels, and again, my levels are typically areas where the stock has either rejected on the support and resistance side. So this being the level right here, it's 770 would have been the level. Let me see something here. This would have been a level right here. As far as 875, it actually came out to be 880. The reason being, you see how it tap broke or whatever. Let me see something here. And then looks like $10 would have been a level. 990. We'll just do 990 because that's a whole number, 990. And this is where it rejected at here, act as support here, broke down, and then it kind of broke away from there. And then this will act as a level as well, 1075. And this is how we go from there. So it's pretty much our levels there. Let's use that there. So zooming in, let's go into a 1 hour. As you can see, it ramped up into that area, that 770, and then made its leg first thing in the morning. So let's break this down a little further down to a 5 minute. So during the day, that day, you can see that it rejected the 770 area. After a while, it started to create a new area, which will be considered entry day zone. So this right here act as the what we call a demand zone, pretty much right here. Let me redraw that out just a little bit more. So this act pretty much like a demand zone, because once it broke out of it, it then came back and respected it. So let me see here. It was about right there. So this is pretty much your zone. Some key areas in this was 840. So let's go back, draw entry day support at 840. Make this one purple. So you got an 840, and that was your areas. So ultimately, I end up getting in at about 852. Based on this was around 126, somewhere right here. It's about where I got in at. So let's look at the 1 minute. So 820, so 126, it was down here in this area. So I got in about right here around the 850s, right here, off this candle. So I'm gonna mark that candle for you. Where is it? Right there. So let me get the line. Let me see where it's at here. Where is it? I want to say it's here. Right there. So that's about where I got in at. Sticking the line a little bit. 50. So right there is about where I got in at. And so we had a nice little rip, pull back, rip. Now my risk was down to here, so I had about right there, about a 20-cent risk behind major support off of the demand zone. So when it pulled, it hit this 880. Now this was a critical area. When it snapped back down here and then recaptured itself right back at 840, I got confident in it, thinking it was going to go. Now the overall trend ended up going up. It pulled. This was where it created its higher lows. It came back, broke out of the 880s, went to 910, retested, and then shot up higher. So when it got up to about 930s or whatever, and I started seeing this candle, this is when I started to pull out. So I had a pretty nice game, about 90-something cent. So again, guys, about being patient in the trade. One of the things you got to realize is that, yeah, this played out and it took a while for it to actually break. But because I knew my areas and I knew my risk, I assumed it when I got in. I just played the trade until it actually collapsed. So overall, it played out to be a really good trade. Now, one of the things I want you to realize is that a stock will break down until, you know, it actually gets over the hump. So where I got in at, you know, it broke. Let me see, about 130. Yeah. So it was right here where I got in at. I got in like right around this area because it gapped up right here, pulled up, yanked, hit back, but it didn't break below the trend line. Went sideways, then it yanked up. So when it went sideways, yanked up, got over 880, my next zone was 990. It didn't take out high day. So when it didn't take out high day, I just knew it would pull back. Now, again, high day was 989. That is confirmation off the 990 area that we saw off the daily. So again, guys, the lines don't lie. The support and resistance don't lie. As long as you're playing around support and resistance, you'll be fine. You'll play out a lot of your trades. It'll be in your benefit, especially when the stock has tested the area multiple times. So I seen my support, seen where it was supporting that for most of the day, which was the 840s, and then it will jump back down to 8s. 8 was another area during the day as well. I'm just looking over my notes. $8 was a good area as well. So this was 810. I'm sorry. 810 was a good area as well. So these are all entry day areas. So when I seen that the stock was kind of like playing, like you can actually see the stock was playing in between the $8 area. It was playing in between the 840. It was using that as a demand zone to try to push higher. One thing about this, I just didn't have the necessary push to really get it over. So once it actually got over the trend on the 5-minute, that's when I got super confident in it that this thing can fly. And then it actually went up. So I missed this first part of the trade early in the morning. I felt like it was just a little too rapid. Didn't really give me a pattern that I like. And it broke out of the demand zone, which was previous supply zone, pretty quickly, and then returned right back to it. So once the stock started to trend a certain way, that's when I was like, okay, maybe this thing got legs. Now, some traders, they got in off of this break, trend break, which was pretty good as well. I've seen some traders do it off of this area as well. Again, you would have probably got in off the 880s or somewhere around here and rolled it there. I played it a little tighter to support. You know, I'd love to have 10-cent risk, 20-cent risk, because that's nothing. You know, when you're trading and you can do a 10, 20-cent risk and get $1, that's a good 5-to-1 move. 3 to 1 is my goal, but if I can get a 5-to-1, I'm always there. I always try to take that. So, guys, this was a pretty good trade. Again, I don't trade every day, but I do try to keep up with the market. So I will continue to make videos whether I trade or not that day, just to give you a concept of how I would have played it and how the trade played out. So this played out to be a pretty good, decent day. Didn't make as much as I would like, but it's all about execution. As long as you come to the table and execute your plan, execute your goal on that trade, and you play the charts, you can't help but say that was a good day. All right, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, leave it in the comments. Click that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the alert button, notification button, so that you won't miss any of our videos, any of our content. But as I tell all new traders and old traders